In soccer and sports in general, crazy can be either good or bad. It can give you the edge over the competition, as they'll always be on their toes and unsure what you'll do next. On the other hand, crazy players are volatile and will often get themselves into trouble. Today we'll be talking about 8 players that have lost their cool in soccer and the match where Suarez lost his temper being down 2 goals against the opposition. Stay tuned. What caused Suarez to lose his cool? On November 4th, Luis Suarez was furious in the UEFA Champions League after Liverpool dismissed their loss against Atletico Madrid by 2-0. After playing for his old team after a long time, Suarez was hoping to win the game and fulfill Liverpool's European dream after a 3-2 loss. But he was left fuming after Atletico Madrid came out with goals from Diogo Jota and Sadio Mane, giving them a comfortable lead against the opposition only after 21 minutes. Suarez was caught on video in a verbal exchange with center-back Felipe, furious at the defender for allowing Mane to sneak past him unnoticed and deliver Trent Alexander-Arnold across. It was a night following a series of unfortunate events for Suarez because he was even constantly booed and jeered by the Liverpool fans on the same night. Suarez was then charged with dissent after Felipe was sent off, and a goal was ruled out after a VAR review. Soon after, Suarez was substituted later with Hector Herrera, enticing joy into the hearts of Liverpool fans who once used to chant Suarez's name in support. However, this wasn't the only time Suarez has displayed his short temper. He has been caught biting his opponents on 3 different occasions throughout his career. And let's discuss these instances. He was suspended in 2010 for 7 games for biting Otman Bakal, a PSV, on the shoulder. Suarez quickly went on to defend himself in an interview with The Guardian, explaining that the pent-up frustration and feeling that it was his fault reached a point where he couldn't contain it anymore. That's his excuse. In 2013, he was suspended for 10 games for biting Chelsea's Ivanovic on the arm. Suarez and his team Liverpool still had to beat Chelsea to have any chance of making it into the Champions League, and according to him, he gave away a free penalty with the handball and could feel as if the wind was slipped through their fingers, and as a result he felt extremely agitated. In 2014, it was the last time he was reported biting an opponent from the opposing team when he bit Italy's Giorgio Cellini while playing for Uruguay in the 2014 World Cup. Suarez defends himself, saying that it's easy to calm down after the game and analyze it and accuse him, but during the match, only winning matters and everything takes a back seat. The adrenaline levels in a game can be so high. The pulse is racing and sometimes the brain doesn't keep up, he says in defense of his impulsive reaction this time around. Now let's take a look at other instances where soccer players are unable to control their anger towards their team, opposition, the fans, and even the camera crew. 8 soccer players who lost their cool on the field. Number 1, Joey Barton. Barton has a habit of hitting the news for his outlandish antics. Barton has a very small temper with the tendency to become extremely aggressive. He's been caught assaulting a guy and a teenager, assaulting a teammate that resulted in a detached retina, and attempting to beat up 3 Manchester City players, and lighting a cigarette on a young kid. His tweets are fascinating to say the least, as he sees himself as a philosopher of some sorts. It's important to remember that Barton has acted despicably in the past, and he has a lot of bad crazy in him. Number 2, Mario Balitelli. Despite a dreadful period at Liverpool, Balitelli has managed to keep out of the spotlight this season, for the most part. Throughout his career, he has made headlines for a variety of off-the-field and on-the-field insanity. Super Mario has dazzled the football world over the years by smoking in a train restroom, fighting with his manager on the training field, lighting off fireworks in his bathroom, and even throwing darts at young players. It's absurd. Whether you like him or not, there's no doubt that he's one of the most bizarre players ever, and he definitely keeps the press busy with his crazy antics. Number 3, Vinnie Jones. Vinnie Jones is most known these days as a Hollywood hard man, but before that, he wasn't even trying to be frightening and was known for his wild conduct on the field. Jones was a prominent member of the Wimbledon squad known as the Crazy Gang, so termed because of their chaotic, rough, and undisciplined style play, as well as their outlandish conduct. Jones was sent off a total of 12 times during his career, and players dreaded facing him. One instance that will live on is Jones clutching Paul Gascioni's testicles while protecting him in an FA Cup match. Jones thinks the two of them have a spiritual connection, and he certainly has a unique method of demonstrating it. Number 4, Diego Maradona. Diego Maradona is one of soccer's finest talents and most colorful characters. However, he has a long history of wild conduct both on and off the field. His atrocious kicking rampage against Bilbao, his reckless celebration in front of the camera, where his dilated pupils revealed his drug usage, cocaine, and of course the hand of God in the 1986 World Cup, where he intentionally used his hand to score a decisive goal against England and then claimed it was revenge for the Falklands War, are just a few of his eye-catching antics. Maradona is a blessing in disguise for journalists looking for noteworthy stories. Number 5, Pepe. Pepe, center back for Porto, instills dread in almost everyone he meets, since history has shown that he may flip at any given time. The most you can expect is a barrage of verbal abuse, since he has a history of lashing out and becoming animalistic against opponents. There's shocking YouTube footage of his insane behavior, but his most famous incident was in 2009 against Getafe, when the defender to Real Madrid surrendered a penalty and then kicked Cosquera twice before punching Albin in the face. He was given a 10-game suspension, but it seems to have no effect on his behavior, as he still looks to be on the verge of erupting with rage in almost each game he plays. Number 6. Eric Cantona. When you think of Eric Cantona, the first thing that comes to mind is his insane kung fu kick on Matthew Simmons in a match against Crystal Palace in 1995. Cantona refers to Matthew Simmons as a hooligan with a pleasant, absent-minded hatred. It's a subtle way of dehumanizing the rude fan he dealt with on January 25, 1995, when he attempted to kick racism from the sport. The footage of his kung fu kick still has an exciting element to it even 25 years later. It was the epitome of Cantona's defiant charm, as Alex Ferguson put it. That night, his resistance defined both his career and his life. Number 7. Roy Keane. While Roy Keane's erratic playing days are behind him, he remains a fearsome force in the football world. "I didn't rate you as a player, I don't rate you as a manager, and I don't rate you as a person," the Irishman said of his Ireland boss, Mickey McCarthy. "You're an explicit who sticks his World Cup up his ass." Keane is arguably most recognized for his dramatic vengeance challenge on Alf Inge Haaland, in which he subsequently acknowledged he had attempted to injure him, and that was a premeditated attack, among hundreds of other shenanigans. Keane was and continues to be insane and unpredictable. Number 8. Kevin Muscat. The majority of the players on this list are crazy in an entertaining fashion, even if they are a touch too aggressive. Kevin Muscat, however, goes above and beyond, displaying some of the most vile and awful actions during his career, which generally places him at the top of the rankings of the dirtiest or most despised players. His irrational conduct was entirely intentional, including one of the cases which Matty Holmes ended up requiring 4 operations on his leg, with the possibility of it having to be amputated after a dirty tackle from Muscat. Ouch. He's also elbowed opponents in the face, instigated a 21-player brawl, trampled on players, and made a disgusting attack on Adrian Zahara in 2011 that's regarded one of the worst tackles in soccer history. Muscat is no longer a player because the tackles for which he became famous for have no place in the sport. Crazy is entertaining for fans. Because of their unexpected nature, you'll often find yourself watching them even if they're not involved in the action. These wild athletes have the power to excite as well as to inflict misery and anguish if they play for your squad. With that, that's it for today. Please leave a like, share, and subscribe to our channel so we can keep providing you with more content like this.